Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Guest Live. Hey, Queenie.
Hey, Doc, who is in the house today?
This is our surprise. Remember that post the other day, that present, that gift, that surprise?
A purple gift with a gold bow. Couldn't be any better than this.
Nope. Welcome, Deby Miller.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
This is the coolest thing ever. We know that you have been such a huge fan of Doc and Queenie community for these couple years that we have been on Zoom, and it is super fun to have you as our guest live today. So we are, oh my gosh, like I say, I kept waiting and waiting for the day, and it seems like how many more sleeps before we see Deby again.
Well,
Yes.
I appreciate your patience.
So Deby, for friends, faithful friends on purpose, or anybody watching us on replay that is new to Doc and Queenie, could you give a little synopsis, a little summary of who you are, what you do? You know, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am a wife of one husband, of course. We have been married for 51 plus years now. We have 5 grown sons, and they have given us 5 gorgeous daughters of love. They have blessed us with 17 plus 1 grandchildren. So we've lived in the Kansas City area about 40 years of that 50, which totally shocks me because both of us are farm kids. We're not into the city stuff, and yet here we have been stuck for 40 years. So anyway.
Where were you before Kansas City?
Nebraska, North Central in the Sandhills. So
Wow, that is amazing.
Nice.
And honestly, when you say 17 plus 1, I know there was a wedding in your family last year, and I just think that is the coolest thing ever, that you are, everything is one big happy family with you, and I just love that.
Thank you. We can be quite loud and fun when we're all together, which it doesn't obviously happen often enough, but yes, when we get together, we're having a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And just like Doc was asking, as far as tell us about you, there are so many different facets just in the couple years that we've gotten to know you. And I know that it's probably hard to break away one piece, but let's start with maybe your company, and then we'll go into the video and the Zooming that you've been doing recently. So tell us about your company.
Thank you. I'm with Prepaid Legal Services, Inc., which is Legal Shield and ID Shield. We're a 50-year-old company. Ken and I have been part of the company now for, I think we're on our 17th year or maybe 18th, one of those. I guess LinkedIn keeps track. I kind of forget once in a while. One of the reasons that we were so interested in it was because we, when our oldest boys were young and we lived in the Sandhills, we were typically driving 150 miles a day to get to the meetings and the places that we needed to go to. And of course, it occurred to us that being adults, we should probably have a will. You can take care of our kids. Should we both not be able there to take care of them? But we had really no clue. That was just a thought. And so then while we're debating what to do, we go through the whole family. Your parents are older, my parents are sicker, your brother this, my brother that. And so we get to the end of the list of family and we're like, well, I don't know, we don't have a will, aren't going to write one anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter that we can't figure out where they should go. Future, jumping forward, we were introduced to Legal Shield, where for a monthly fee, you could have help with whatever you needed. Plus, they would write your wills, and in the next year or a few years later, you could review the will, have all your health directives written, and anything else you needed, including, of course, the nice flashing lights that often show up behind, especially teenage sons. So it seemed like a really good idea to have. I wish we would have realized that one of our sons was being profiled. I'm not even sure. I can't remember sure that we even had Legal Shield at the time, but that would have been a great way to have used it. But now with our app and our just a touch of a button, it's easy to contact our attorneys. So when my husband was in a hit and run car accident on the way to a doctor's appointment and to dialysis actually in the evening, he could actually be talking to an attorney before the police even showed up to help keep him calm and get things figured out. So the apps are amazing and super helpful. Of course, we do all kinds of other things. Now we've added Legal Shield or the ID Shield a part to it so that, as the rest, all of us are now doing so much shopping online and Christmas. I know some people are already done with Christmas shopping, but in case not, just having the extra pair of eyes watching all of your information that's out there, including all of your social platforms. Now we even cover those. We can inform you if there are new sex offenders moving into your area. We can keep we have a vault to keep all of your login information safe and help to even get it set up super secure. So we have a lot of things with our ID protection as well.
It's a fantastic company. I know Queenie and I both have Legal Shield. They know us probably pretty well now. We're always calling with questions.
Absolutely. And
You
one
know.
thing, you can ask for what you tell the person who answers the phone what your topic is. And within the legal community, there is you have opportunity to have that specific lawyer call you back. I think it's an incredible service. And I've
Yes.
also notifications of breaches of my social media stuff. So the ID Shield piece kicks in as well. Would you like to review your account? And if there's a red flag next to it, that's the one you need to go check and see if that was really you doing it or someone else. So intellectual property is a big thing for me because of my books, and Legal Shield has helped me with some questions about that as well. So I really do, Debbie. I think it's a very cool service. And when you network virtually, and I get to see you in a lot of different places now, but when you network and you have those flashing lights behind you, you can tell everybody's going, what's going on with that? And it's
Were you speeding again, Debbie? Or was that me?
yeah, seriously, they're chasing Doc. We have a few. Yeah, but it's
That's
very
because I drive a red car. Oh, but you do too, Queenie.
yeah, I do too, but mine has a gun on it. Yeah, mine doesn't go over 30 and yours goes 30 per wheel. I know how this works.
No, Legal Shield's been great. I use them actually. We asked the question, it was during, we weren't totally shut down, but we had a birthday party. We had a whole bunch of people over. And so we asked the questions like, is there something we need to be aware of with all of the stuff going on? And, what we love too is if they don't know the answer right off the cuff, they're like, we'll get back to you. We're going to research it out and then we'll get back to you, which is what they did within like an hour or two. So it's fantastic. That's fantastic that you've represented them for so long too.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Thank you. I love that they're, actually any steps, every stage of life, because, no matter whether they're a brand new young couple or an older couples or somewhere in between, everything has different questions. And I love that no matter how many times you call and ask for questions, whether it's something seems innocent or maybe not even a legal issue, they still are able to take the time to help research if necessary and give us that peace of mind that we're pretty much all of us need right now. We've had enough curveballs thrown at us,
Right.
limited requirements for everything in our lives, whether it's just something in your HOA or in your business or even just your family life. Lots of things needed to be reconsidered.
Debbie, one of the stories that you tell in some of our networking events that I think is also impactful, one of your members called the attorneys because of a car repair situation. Tell our listeners about that, because I can't imagine that this is still happening in this day and age, but to have it this real, this close, I think is amazing.
Yes, one of our attorneys mentioned this story. He had a young mother call him while she was at a mechanic shop. Her air conditioner had quit working for her and her 2 young daughters while her husband was deployed. And the mechanic wanted to replace both of her water pumps in her car. And I believe he mentioned a price, which, I mean, the price always blows my mind no matter what they think they're going to charge us for things. So that would have been my first clue, like, really, that's a lot of money. But anyway, she had no one to call. So husband deployed, out of in country somewhere. So the attorney took the call, which first off kind of blew my mind that he would consider that. But he took all the information where she was at and literally what all was going on there. After he got her calmed down, he called the shop and talked to the mechanic and just reminded him that they both knew that there was no car in America, or actually the world, that has more than one water pump. Therefore, he would get this poor young mother on her way with everything working perfectly. I believe he even talked about the price, but the deal was that if this wasn't done, he would see to it that the shop was investigated. Obviously, this was not the first time he had tried this trick, so I'm sure there was some investigation that could have happened. And got, mom and her kids were on the way quickly, but just to think that, I mean, first off, why would you do that to a veteran, a wife of someone deployed, a young mom? I've been there in that situation before and myself, and never thought to call the attorney, but I was just so impressed that he would take the time to deal with her and totally flipped the coin when he was talking to the mechanic to get the whole thing taken care of. And she was on her way quickly. So
I think that's one of the best stories ever.
It's sad. It's sad that she had to make that phone call. It said that he, but that's a great example of they do go out of their way if they can help you. And they also go out of state. We're working with them right now with a legal shield in a different state for some family issues. So it's incredible. It's a great service.
Yeah, it seriously is. Debbie, Doc and I were thinking back to when we first met as far as the Doc and Queenie community networking coffee club with Michelle and Doc and different things like that. And we were thinking about Zoom was not your strength then, and Zoom is certainly your strength now. And you definitely have a YouTube channel and you've been dubbing. So that's why we've given you the hashtag Debbie Dub. And so tell our listeners, our viewers, a little bit about your transition, if you will, into not so comfortable with the video thing to now running all these classrooms that we have.
Well, I think we all have COVID to thank for a lot of our internet technical skills, which at least I did not have a lot of skills in that area. All of my networking, of course, shut down there temporarily. And I was like, well, we all have some kind of a computer at the groups that I was working with that, like we could do something, at that point I had no clue what, but so we finally figured out some of them would actually not work. Some of my friends were like, no, that's not happening at all. And still to this day, haven't decided to that. And then Kathy discovered Happy Neighborhood Project, which was quite a shock and quite a blessing as well to find so many other people that were networking and literally all around the world that we have gotten to know. And she invited me to help co-host Happy Neighborhood Project Midwest Ladies. And I thought before, I mean, I did say yes to her at the time, but I did think before we actually started, I should probably check out exactly what I got myself into or what she got me into.
I think it's more that way. Yes.
Like the sister I never had, kind of, you know, like, what has she gotten me into? So I went to a few H&Ps. I did like them, so that was good. And fortunately, we have a lot of training and help in the Happy Neighborhood Project, and very gracious people all over, so that are able to help us when we're stumbling around. And now we've been doing our Midwest Ladies for almost a year and a half now, so it's been very exciting. And yes, I've learned a lot of things about Zooms and other things. Happy Neighborhood Project has now brought the dub.com to our community as a benefit, and I'm learning how to make videos with that. Doc, you do really cool videos, short little reels and stuff with your gardening and everything. So haven't figured, don't do that, but I'm working on the Dub platform and figuring out how to use it and invite other people to use it to respond back to me, actually.
Well,
that has been so cool.
I have to admit, I was, well, we were chatting about you yesterday, getting ready for you today. And I remember the first time I met you, it was your tea at 2 on Tuesdays. And I was actually over at Queenie's house that day. We had like, and it was right, I'm just looking, I looked it up as far as if I could find something, and it had September 15th, 2020. And we had been to a couple of meetings previous to, but I will never forget, you were like, I think you were on your husband's computer and you're like, I'm not really sure, you know, and we were all just kind of, it was still new. They had like a Snapchat thing on it, and we kept putting hats on and glasses on, and you were very patient with us as we were fooling around with the controls too. But you've come a long way. I'm not on H&P as much as you guys are, but I've heard a lot of great rumors about you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hopefully they are great and truthful.
This is one of the ones when I do this, I always say, don't let your business be in the witness protection program. Call Debbie Dub and she will help you get through it. So yeah, this is one of the ones I have used before. But we were on Messenger, I think, for that platform, Debbie, when you did your tea at 2 on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we were doing it. I still haven't, I got to a point where I really didn't like it very well. You had mentioned before in some of the trainings that you had done that you should try different platforms, venues, whatever. That one didn't work very well. So we haven't done that one for a long time. So
not for a long time. What is the name of your YouTube channel?
Ken and Debbie Miller. So it's it doesn't have very many videos on it yet, or very many subscriptions, but yours is really growing. I love that. Yours is over 500. Doc, yours is probably growing. Where is it at now?
I'm in the 50s, you know, I'm shooting for the 100 for the URL.
Right.
When I pay attention to it, of course.
Yeah, that does help.
Been a little busy, you know, like all of us.
Yeah.
Building that greenhouse, that'll be another Doc and Queenie show all in itself, I bet, because I can't wait to see how you put all those reels together. But you notice what just happened here? This is the finesse of Debbie Dub. All of a sudden,
She flipped it. She flipped it, Queenie.
She flipped it. And so for those of you watching with us, Debbie Dub has a gift. And her gift is to say, yes, 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 about me, 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 and then to go and tell me about you. So she is great at edification and great at flipping. And we are super thrilled for your success, my friend.
Yes, and we are super thrilled that we finally coerced you to come on, because I know you're very busy.
Oh, yeah, I prefer to call it suggested.
I'm a suggestion. Well, I actually have not, I just was told to show up. So, I have nothing to
Yeah.
do with,
Uh-huh.
Well,
with,
before we go, I just want to say it was super awesome in May when we got together actually in person with our dear friend Delinda Lane and a lot of other friends. That was so unbelievable. We hadn't actually ever met in person before that
that's
time.
right.
So
That's right.
that
And there's
was
another one coming up in November, so I hear, I hope.
Yeah.
So
I'm super
yeah.
excited about that one too. Yeah.
So how can people reach out to you, Debbie, if they want to, talk about Legal Shield? What's a good way to contact you?
I'm on LinkedIn with just Debbie Miller, CEO, but also Facebook. But I can put my business card on the message here, so they can contact me there. It has the calendar and all that kind of information. So
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Queenie, it always,
I know it goes too fast, but I wanted to give Debbie one more shot. Is there
yes.
anything that we haven't talked about yet that you would like our viewers to know before we say goodbye? Anything that you can think of? The ID Shield is a biggie for me as far as Christmas shopping and online everything. But please, 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 if you think of anything, put it in the comment section of this video, because your services are, I would think, mandatory for anybody in business at this.
Yes. Yes.
we'd love to help the small business. We can help with their LLC so they actually know for sure that all the boxes were checked off. But a lot of people are trying to figure out, what to do next or what to do plus whatever they're doing, and we can help with all those questions, and we're glad to help with that and just help keep you protected and empowered.
Yep. And it keeps, as a business owner, that's one less thing you have to worry about. They've got your back. So,
yeah.
Well, thank you again, Debbie Miller, Debbie Dub, and
Thank you.
Queenie. And thank you everyone for joining us today for Doc and Queenie Guest Live. You can check out Doc and Queenie Facebook Live on every Monday at high noon. Got to get that in there. Thank you, Debbie, for joining us. This has been a thrill to have you on with us and to talk about what you do, and just kudos to you for your success, and can't wait to see you more YouTubes and Zoom calls and et cetera, et cetera. So until next time, everyone, have a fantastic, it's Friday, so have a fantastic weekend, and we will catch you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Queenie.
Bye now.